this video, I'm gonna show you how I won a piece in just 15 moves against a strong player. This was an 1800, but this is a common mistake that I've seen a lot of different people do. So I think you can win plenty of games knowing this. So anyways, I was playing the Swedish Championship blitz and I was facing a guy called Desmond. And now we started the clock and I played d4. So he went e6 and I went c4 and he brought out his knight and I put on my glasses because I always need to see. I've played this a million times. This became a queen's gambit declined exchange variation. And now he defended his pawn. I brought out my queen and he castled. So everything so far is very normal. I brought up my bishop. The idea is to take the knight and then take on h7. And then he threatened my bishop, so I have to retreat it. So I went there and he brought his rook out. I got my knight out. All of this is super natural. He went all the way to g4, which made me happy because then I can get my knight up and I really want to get that bishop if I can. And now after castles, I was setting up what feels like the most natural plan in the world and why I love this opening, f4 and f5. And this is where the mistake is about to happen. So already now I really like this position. I'm right now threatening to go f5. And I think this is, even if it's not obviously winning, it's just a very comfortable position for white. So I personally really enjoy this opening and I've played this for more years than I can count. So here he took my knight, which made me happy, and I decided to take with the d pawn because I wanted to still have this idea of f5. And now was the moment where he blundered. He went knight d7, completely forgetting that his bishop could get trapped, and now after f5 I was able to trap his bishop. So this is how to win a piece in 15 moves. Now of course he didn't have to retreat with his knight back, but even if he wouldn't have done it, I would have gotten such an amazing center and the knight didn't have any like very natural square to go to in that position. So he now realized obviously that he was just a piece down. And this was still a game that had to be won. So it was still not completely over. I had some weaknesses and actually he was going to make it a bit tricky. So I started by checking him because whenever we get into endgame, sometimes it's better for the king to be one step further away from the action. So it's sometimes nice to just do that check for the endgame. I now threatened his queen and his queen had to move somewhere. And he decided to move his queen back to e7. So I saw that the biggest weakness I have right now is my pawn on e3. So I should just go there and defend it. And I also thought maybe I can push that pawn at some point. But I was now feeling very confident. I feel like the best thing about winning a piece is the confidence you get in a blitz game. You can just play fast and feel like you're going to win that game. So he brought his queen to try to create a little bit of, well, I guess annoyance, and actually I started seeing that his knight could become a bit annoying over there. I went queen f2 because I wanted to get my queen closer to the defense. He went rook f8 and his idea was that he wanted to defend that pawn. So I went queen f4 because obviously trading queens now when I'm a piece up would be fantastic. So he was looking at what to do. He doesn't want to trade queens because if he trades queens, he's basically just admitting to losing the game. I mean, you cannot play an endgame a piece down. It's just very difficult to defend. So it made sense that he wanted to keep his queen. And now I started thinking about, wait, can I go e4? But then I realized, okay, then there's going to be maybe knight d3. So I need to first retreat my bishop and then I need to play the move e4. Then I need to, get my pawn up. So he went rook e8 and I really was thinking, now should I go e4? I mean, this was to me like the biggest question, and I decided, okay, first I'm going to start threatening checkmate to try to get a little bit of his pieces to kind of get into a more uncoordinated position. He was threatening my queen. I had to move the queen. Where was I going to go with the queen? I wanted to attack that h6 pawn, but should I go queen f4 or queen h3? I decided to go queen h3, threatening that pawn, and I wanted now to bring in more pieces, so I decided to find another piece I could bring in. But I was getting a bit worried about my e3 pawn. I mean, he had definitely found a way of making this more complicated than I thought. So my time was ticking and I wasn't sure what the best option was. I could tell that maybe he felt a little bit more confident now than before, like he saw some more chances now than what he'd seen before. And I decided ultimately to go rook f4, which was a move that looked a bit crazy because if I'm not careful, he might be able to take the rook and then my other rook is hanging on e1. He went h5 and I just didn't know exactly what to do to like really continue that attack. So at first I thought, can I somehow weaken that pawn on h5? But then I decided, let's just try to chase away the queen. So I went queen g3 to threaten the queen, and now he took it. And now he was getting some better pieces. So now I really felt like he, had more chances. And I found this move knight d1 to defend both pawns, but I was getting really nervous now because I thought, what if I don't win this anymore? But I should, but look at that eval bar. It's not even showing that I'm winning anymore. It's just showing that I'm a bit better. But now he played rook e7 and I instantly won b3 because I really wanted to threaten that knight. But then it hit me that I could have maybe gone bishop takes g6. I kept looking at that move. Can I take that pawn? Can I take that pawn? And when he went back, I said, yes, I can. Now I can take that pawn. And now I felt confident again. The tables were turning. And I knew that I now could have this game in my bag. So he brought his king up, but I had another pawn that I could win. And now everything I needed to do was to get a passed pawn and create a queen. So he attacked my bishop, but I felt no fear. I just felt like I needed to move that back and make sure that I don't allow him to get any counterplay. So I'm now stopping his knight from getting into any good squares. So he got to the other square that potentially was good. And this was also a little bit terrifying because I thought, wait, is he gonna be able to win my pawn on g3? I don't want that. And if I go rook f3, he's just gonna go knight d2 and attack my rook, and then we're gonna be back into that mouse and cat race. So I went bishop h3 with the idea being that if he takes my pawn, I can check him and then win the knight. And this to me felt like the best way of ensuring that I wouldn't lose that pawn. So he moved the knight, and now I have brought my knight out to f2. And I had to now find the path for my knight. He attacked my rook. My rook had to move. It went to, well, actually it didn't move. I took his knight and yeah, he didn't see that it was, I didn't see it now either. I could take his knight, which obviously is what I want to do because I really want to get rid of his pieces and be just with my extra piece. So now I felt confident, but we had very little time. So I checked him and then my rook had to move to the other side. Also, it feels like a bit like I'm making bars. It feels like I'm singing a rap song right now. All right, so I brought my knight up and I really wanted to get his pieces off the board. So I went rook h4 to trade rooks. And after he moved his rook, I was able to check him and then force the exchange of the other rook. And now that all those pieces had been traded, I was very confident that I'd be able to win this. So he made here an illegal move. And I typically do not want to tell people in a blitz game, but because I lost the game a few months ago, well, I drew a game that I was completely winning because I didn't say that they'd made an illegal move. I decided to call an arbiter and tell him that he'd made an illegal move. He hadn't moved the king because now I would get an extra minute on the clock. So now he would only have a few seconds and I would have over a minute, which would ensure that this would be an easy win. So we explained what had happened to the arbiter, and now after this he continued the game, and I had time to think now, which felt amazing. So I was trying to come up with just the best plan. I decided to just bring my king up and then get my rook into a more active square. So now I could just pick up everything, and he was kind of smiling. I don't know if it was because he knew he was cooked or why, I suppose. But yeah, now he was going to be able to potentially win a pawn, so of course I had to be slightly bit careful, but I mean, there wasn't really much here. I was just going to pick up all his pawns. He was trying, though, to create a passed pawn or create something, which I admire his ability to, like, fight for so long. But yeah, now I attacked his pawn, and then I was going to be able to get my king up, my rook up, check his king, and then get my king up. So he had to get some counterplay. I just simply took my pawn, and then I just checked him, and I thought it's time to go for a checkmate now. So I was trying to find a checkmate. I decided that it's easier to just protect the pawn, and then he kept playing on here, so I was just gonna find a path for my king. I decided to go rook f6, threatening the pawn, and then push my pawn, get my king up. Everything was kind of self-explanatory. I didn't want to give him any counterplay. I was really going for keeping every pawn, but I was just bringing my king up. That was my plan. And here I realized that there were some checkmate ideas. I went knight h6 check, checking the king, and here he finally resigned, and I was able to win after winning that piece after 15 moves. So I kind of apologized for calling off the illegal move, which I mean I shouldn't apologize for, but I felt a bit annoying calling out that illegal move in such a winning position. But it was just because I know what can happen when you don't do it. You get overconfident and then you end up not winning the game, and I did not want to have that happen in this game. So anyways, that was my game. I was able to win, and I was very happy. Hope you learned something, and good luck with your chess. Thank you so much for watching.